Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I am your host today, Dr. Sheri with Power Tables. I am owner and CEO of Next Steps Incorporated. And let me tell you, it houses my Best Life Academy. Yeah, that's MBLA. So, yeah, thanks so much for joining this afternoon. We are here today. We've been doing Power Tables for just a little bit, but it's just a way to kind of bring a little inspiration, food for thought as we go into our weekend. And Power Tables is that place where we can gather. You bring your lunch, and well, we'll bring the tea. Yeah, that's what's happening today. Listen, I was thinking about something. I was thinking about much of what we've talked about in the area of emotional intelligence. But what happens when we have to make some decisions with that intelligence? And the word that popped up today as we talked just a little bit is a word called indirect or redirect, rather. And I want to talk about that a little bit. I see you guys joining in. Hey, Minister Yo. Hey, Sister Dina. You guys, come on in. Ping somebody. Tell them to come on in. Oh, that's over in Clubhouse. Okay. Hit somebody in the chat. Tell them to come on in. Listen, I was thinking about that word redirect, redirect. And a lot of times we have our direction set for our lives. We have it set for the relationships we want. We even have it set, if you're little girls like I was, for the number of kids we were going to have and the names of the kids. Some of us still have some scratch pads written out somewhere. That wonderful guy we were going to marry, or perhaps we did marry, by the way, but our knight in shining armor, all that stuff that we had laid out, the type of job we would have, the crib we'd be in, the neighborhood we would have. And by now, some of us would even be debt free. We'd be retired, living our best lives, as we say at the academy. But what happens when those directions go a little bit differently than what we planned? Let's say, for example, all of us use today, I'm sure, some type of navigational system. And, we used to have those names that we give them, all those things. But listen, every now and then, even our GPS is off. Yeah, I ran into a situation not too long ago where I was headed to a place and thought I knew where the place was, but I went ahead and put in my information in the GPS just to be on the safe side. But guess what, guys? They had some detours. Yeah. So the directions I put in didn't really hold up that day. I found myself trying to redirect, if you will. You ever have that voice? We used to call it Garmin back in the day when they first signed up with, came out with the navigational systems. But you just want to tell Garmin, just shut the. Okay, we're not going to say it on live today, but just shut up. Okay. I know I need to make a U-turn in 300 feet. Now I know I need to make one in 800 feet. Okay, now at the next, whatever, mile or so, I get it. But there's been a redirect, and the GPS system didn't get it. That's ever been you? Hey, Mr. Vallo, I see you coming in. Yeah, you had it planned, and you had enough money to not only last for the month, but to go past the month, and then something happened. And yeah, there was a redirect. I know he was the perfect guy. He was the absolute perfect guy until you saw him with Sally. Yeah, and you had to do a redirect. Hopefully that's all we did. But, back in the day, we did some other types of redirects with, bricks and yeah, and sugar in tanks and yeah, and we was down with you like four flats, and we really meant that thing. Maybe that wasn't you. That's just some friends that I knew back in the day when those things happened. But it was a redirect all the same. Maybe it was that perfect job, and we thought it would last forever. But guess what? It was a redirect. It was a redirect job, and we didn't get that job. And we were disappointed because now we're talking to some people with that income, and we thought that would be us. We got the training, we got the education, we got the skill set, we got the know-how. We built up other companies, as you know. But yeah, it's a redirect. It's directed us away from the purpose, away from the thing that meant something to us away from maybe even our families. Maybe you're dealing with some relationships in your family. Mm, let that sink for a minute. And we got to redirect, maybe from some friends that we thought were going to be with us a lifetime, but it's only a season. Or maybe it was just a reason. But our heart is holding on to something, but our head has gotten the information, but the head and the heart haven't made the connection yet. And so we need to redirect so that our heart can get the message. Yeah, I'm in a season like that where I'm having to redirect because I had lifetime when somebody had season and somebody else had a reason. It was a reason that they needed us for that moment. It was a reason that we needed them for that moment. But now we've got to redirect. You got to change our focus. We've got to change our perspective. It's not going to be the way that we thought it was always going to be. They're not going to be sitting at our table this Thanksgiving. I'm just going to sip a little tea on that because I know y'all were getting the turkey ready for some of them, okay? Christmas. Hey, Sister Lorraine, good to see you, girl. But they're not going to be there for Thanksgiving. They're not going to send that Christmas gift that you were used to getting. I know, I know. We're not going to get that Christmas basket that always comes. I understand that. I understand you were really looking forward to it. I was too with some things, but it's not going to happen. It's redirect. What do you do when you have to redirect and the directions were set for something else? The course, the pathway was set for something else. I was getting ready for the scenic view. I was on I-10, y'all. I was used to going a certain way. I wanted to pass by Bucky's, but there was a redirect. And I didn't get to pass by Bucky's. I didn't get to make my stop that I like to make. Yeah, because there was a redirect. There was something happening on the roadway, on the pathway that wouldn't let me pass in my normal course. And sometimes that happens in our normal course of thought. The way we think about a certain thing, the way we think about a certain person, maybe the way we think about a certain place. Our thoughts have direction too. And sometimes those directions are in good places, sometimes they're not. I'm just going to share my story. I'm not going to share yours today because I don't know many of y'all's, but I know mine. And I'm just trying to bring the point home of sometimes how emotional intelligence or the lack thereof can cause us to ignore a pathway of redirect. I was in a situation where I had a memory of someone doing something I just didn't like. And y'all know how that memory just sticks in your craw. Maybe you didn't say anything, maybe you did. But if you didn't say anything, it stays with you. And we do sometimes what our parents have taught us to do. You feed them with a long handle spoon, or you just don't deal with them at all. Well, it was that type of situation with that particular person. And y'all, I saw somebody come in to a restaurant I was sitting in. And I promise you, the guy was a dead ringer for him. I promise you was. Everything in me just rose up to the surface. And since we have some good church people here, yeah, but the spirit of cuss had come up too. And I was trying to find a way to get that down. Can we just be real for a moment? Because we just having a little table talk. We just gathering at the table. I told you, you bring the lunch, I'm bringing the tea. This is the tea. And so I made up my mind. You won't get away this time. I have something I need to say. And how dare you have walked out what I needed to say, what I needed to say, when I needed to say it. But today, in front of all of these people, before you get your shrimp lunch, let me go ahead and get this off my chest. So I placed my napkin aside. I covered my plate because, we're in a season where we don't want folks breathing on it. Made sure my glass was covered. And I got up to take the step. Now, you see these glasses I have on. I didn't have them at that time. I needed some. So the closer I got to this person that I was just going to let have it, give them a piece of my mind, you're going to be told today. The closer I got, those old lenses let me know that I was trying to look at an old problem that didn't have the same face. Y'all, he looked so much like him until you got closer and realized that wasn't even the person. You see, all of that had risen up in me, all of that anger, all of that venom, all of that old stuff. And I realized I hadn't let it go. Instead of getting to tell this person off, I greeted him very kindly and walked past him as if I was going to the bathroom and made that U-turn. You see, if I had allowed my thoughts to be redirected, that this wasn't that time, that that person was removed for a reason, they had no bearing or any place in my life. They were not going to affect my destiny. They were not going to affect my dreams. They were not supporting any type of income coming into my home. They had nothing to do with me. Not at this time. So why did my thoughts direct themselves to that person, to an old place that I no longer needed to be? Could it be our emotions directing us to some things we no longer need to be directed to? You know, that heartache that I was carrying, it's none of you. I'm sure that's not it. Um, yeah, yeah. The breach in that friendship, yeah, I know that's not y'all. I'm sure it's just me. But what I am telling you is that as we proceed and as God hopefully allows us to see the conclusion of this year, 2022, and enter 2023, there are some things which I am sharing with you now that will not allow us to have our best 2023 and the results that should come with it until we learn how to redirect. How do we do that? The word gives us some examples, set your affections on things above. Yeah. But we got to have something that I've also come to know as mirror ministry. I share that with my sisters on the line, quite a few of them. And I told a friend of mine not too long ago, I said, I'm finding myself now spending more time in the mirror. That's not a vanity thing. Listen very closely. And less time at the window. What does that mean? I don't spend time looking out the window to see how I need to direct and redirect you. I spend time in the mirror now, talking to this girl, that reflection that's coming back, and saying, girl, how are you going to direct and redirect your life today? How is it going to get better? Girl, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and your soul ought to know that right well. Do you understand that you are the apple of his eye? Do you understand that you're accepted in the beloved? Do you understand that you are gifted above measure? Do you really know that there is a world that's waiting on the talents, the skill set, and the calling that you have? And you alone can make a decision today to redirect from some things that have kept you and hindered you from your best life. Girl, you can either stay in this mirror long enough to see those things, those flaws, those imperfections that can work for you if you work it, or you can go back to the window and watch everybody else's life and comment while your life passes you by. I decided I was going to invest in mirror ministry. Yeah, got mirrors all over the place now. And if you don't have that, these wonderful little devices we have, call those phones, those smartphones. Yeah, all those selfies that we see on social media, Facebook, I see them all the time. I have a ton of them, as you know. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. My cousin was telling me, she was in a work environment and somebody called her, they put her on Snapchat. Hey, if you don't do it yourself, they'll do it for you, okay? Why not do it ourselves? I think a lot of redirect would come with more mirror ministry? Had I spent a little time with that device when I was sitting at the table and I thought that was the man that had done me harm, and I now had the opportunity to take it to another place, if I had just opened my phone and spent a little time with mirror ministry, just selfie, if you will, a selfie shot, I think it would have changed, it would have redirected my thoughts and my emotions about how far I had come since that moment, about how good things had become since that moment, about how great it was to not have somebody in my life that I could not trust. I hope y'all hearing this right now. You see, it will help us. That selfie shot, that mirror ministry. And so, one of the things we love to share here at My Best Life Academy is how we can start to use emotional intelligence before we get to building the business. Oh, we got all of that. That building business, that structure, that thing you want to do that nobody else can do quite like you can do. Oh, we set for that one. But we find that 90% of what we become has nothing to do with what we actually do. It has to do with how we think and how we feel towards our present right now. So I don't know if you guys have questions or something, but that's just what was on me. How to redirect. How to redirect. How do we do that? How do we shift our focus to get to the destination that we know we're called to? How do we shift our thought process in the heat of battle, in the heat of the moment? How do you get those feelings, those emotions in alignment and not be the typical, yeah, with that side eye and a few other things we can do? Oh, we do it well. We do. How do we do that? How do we do that? I just want to give you something quick. I don't want to hold you too long today. Let me get a little bit more of this tea. This tea is really good, by the way. I try some different things. It's a different one today. Has a little bit more of what we call that chamomile. And I'm not going to sleep right now. It's just light, but it's got a little ginger kick to it. So that helps us some. But one of the things we do is I've described a 6-second pause. Take 6 seconds. 6 seconds. 6 is a powerful number, if you will. 6 is the number of man for a reason. That's what the scriptures tell us. But 6 can also be that particular thing that gets us into our next season or shuts it down. 6 is also the number that they use for jail cells. 6 by 6. That's all the room you need. 6 is also that number that they use for graves. 6 feet under. I decided to use my 6 for life because I will not be imprisoned by what I think or what I feel, and I won't be buried by it either. So take a 6-second pause. That's the first thing. Next thing is decide in that 6 seconds, what do I want out of this situation? Is it the apology you didn't get? Okay. Is it just to be noticed and we weren't noticed before? Okay. Is it to be acknowledged for a particular thing and that didn't happen? Okay. Whatever that is, take a moment to think about it. What do I want out of the situation? Not from the person, not from the being. What do I want out of the situation? Because the situation has now reared its head. There's a detour. There's been a redirect. And I'm going to have to take it. But what do I want out of it? For me, I just wanted to get to my destination. I really wanted to go to Buc-ee's. So it was okay to put in another GPS request. Just get me to Buc-ee's. Okay. And then the third thing in our 6-second pause is what do I want for me? Sometimes that takes more time than other things. Sometimes it takes longer than 6 seconds. I have a sister on the line. She said 3 to 6 minutes because it takes her a moment to work through. And that's okay because it's you in your own mirror. Take the time that you need. So, what do you want for you? What do I want for me? What I wanted for me is to go to Buc-ee's and I wanted to be able to get my brisket sandwich. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to go and mix all the flavors of the drinks that I like. Yeah. And I wanted to go get my snack pack. I wanted those hot cashews, y'all. That's what I wanted for me. When I thought about the guy situation, what I wanted out of it was to see his face shift when I spoke. That's what I wanted out of it originally. But then I thought about what I wanted for me. What I wanted for me is to continue the amazing work that I'm doing, that I get to do every day, to enjoy the family and friends that God has graced me with in the absence of so much loss, so much devastation. They're still here. I want to be able to enjoy that. And I found that had I not redirected, sad to say, after I got up from a great meal and got a little closer to the situation and saw that it wasn't the situation that I thought about all the things that could have been forfeited in that moment. You see, there are cameras everywhere. Even when we don't think folks are looking, they're looking and they're waiting to catch us on our worst day with your wig shifted. Yeah, got my good wig on today. My friends will let me know if it was working or if it wasn't working. I count on them to do that. They're my real friends, by the way. They don't care if your dress was up on one side and if it was a hole in it. They have no care. They want you in your worst light. For us, we ought to want to be in our best light. So for me in that situation, what I really wanted was to be in my best light at all times and let nothing and no one interrupt that. Yeah, that's it. I think I got a question. How do you not feel guilty, says, about how others feel when God redirects you and it does not include them? Ooh, she went there, didn't she? Think I need to take another sip of this tea and then we're going to answer that. How do you feel? Yeah, how do you feel? Not feel guilty, she said, about how others feel when God redirects you. I think the answer is actually in a part of your question. It's when God redirects us. When God redirects us. Now, no guilt, no shame, because it's come from a higher source. And so we cannot feel guilty, or perhaps I'll put it this way. To me, we feel for others, we have compassion for them, yes. But there is no guilt when God redirects us because He redirects us for our best. He redirects us into our best. He doesn't mind shifting and nudging and pulling and moving and removing if need be for us to be in our best light. And that is the purpose that He's called us into. Yeah. Are we going to get some backlash? You better believe it. Because sometimes they just don't understand the pathway or the purpose that God has us on. It doesn't always look. Let me drop this real quick, y'all. The worst thing, I'm gonna use myself today. Y'all making me just be totally transparent up in here today. I was just gonna try to sip this tea and move on with my stuff. The fact that it doesn't include them, I think is the most difficult part of it, not only for them, but for us too. I know it has been for me in this particular season because there are some people that started with me many years ago that are not here today. And that's okay. I had to realize as we opened up a reason, a season, a lifetime. And some of them were here for the reason, some for the season. And the season has ended and the reason has been provided. And so there is no need in them walking now on a journey that does not benefit them or me. And so when that happens, yes, the heart hurts. Oh, it hurts. The head gets really heavy. Yes, it does. Because it feels sometimes like our right arm has been cut off. We've been so accustomed to seeing their faces, to hearing the laughs, the stories, the smiles. But understand, life goes on. It's just that we've been on a good train ride together. And somewhere along the way, they needed to get on another one, or we needed to get on another train. Now the trains may be running parallel to each other. I can't touch them and they can't touch me. But guess what? We're both headed to our destinations. And that is what's supposed to happen when you take a journey. And that's what we believe here. That's what we believe here at MBLA, that we're just going to take this journey together to get you to your best life. And that is to get you from that point of pain onto a pathway that's set for purpose. And if that requires a redirect, then that's exactly what it is. That's what it's going to be. And so I see somebody here put everybody can't go when God has redirected us. Amen. Amen. I see Sister Lorraine. Oh, Sister Lorraine got all the points here. 6-second pause. What do I want out of this situation? And what do I want from it? That's it, girl. That's it. That'll answer it every time. And in those 6 seconds, we end up not making a monkey out of ourselves when they have absolutely no bananas to give us. Yeah, I think I'll take another sip on that one. That was better than I thought. Yeah, don't make a monkey out of ourselves when they don't even have bananas to supply us with. Yeah, let that be on somebody else. Redirect, redirect, and keep moving. Yes, sip, sip. You got it. Sometimes that is the best revenge. If there's such a thing, we don't go for it. At least according to my faith, we let vengeance belong to God, because revenge means just what it is. It's a revolving door. You may get away with something today against them, but they're coming back tomorrow with something against you, and the door just keeps going. And by the time, years and months, days have passed, we're still at the same spot. We've got nowhere because we keep planning for someone's demise instead of our destiny. I'm not going to be spending my time planning for somebody's demise. I'm planning and securing destiny for my life. That's what's going on. Not happening. Yeah, you said it's a lot of bananas, but where's the monkeys? You got that right. We redirected. That's what we did. We redirected. That's what we did. So listen, y'all. I need y'all to go over and check out my Best Life Academy at drsherryleads.com. We got Black Friday going on campaign. I mean, it is hitting right now. This is going to be the season. If you want to get in on the ground floor, you better get in now because the building's going up. It won't look like this in just a few months. I can assure you that. But this is our entry level. There is an opening to my Best Life Academy. It is open enrollment right now. So we've got the deals of a season happening. If you need to make payment plans or whatever you need to do, I suggest you get in. This open enrollment, yes, will be starting in January, but we will have master classes leading all the way up there that are completely free in December, because we want you to get ready for that particular academy. It's an academic experience you cannot afford to not get into. Give us 12 weeks to get you in to your best life. And it starts with getting your head in the game. And when you get your head in the game, you can get your money in your pocket and leave a legacy for your children. That is the goal of my Best Life Academy. And we are missing too much of it by doing some of the things we're talking about today, not knowing when to redirect. It's simple things, but we're going to give you some more steps, some more keys, some more tools, some more connections to how you do that. And some of us at the end of that 12 weeks, I believe we're more than capable of walking out of some 9 to 5s and walking into some areas we only dreamt of. I believe that. I believe that we're strong enough to give you those keys. I'm telling you, I'm getting ready for it. I'm psyched already, y'all, as y'all can tell. And I would love to take the journey with you into that arena and to see you walk out in the fullness of destiny and not let anything trip you up. Because sometimes I've heard this verse and I hear it often. Your gift will make room for you. Yes, it will. But our gifts sometimes make rooms for us, and our character gets us kicked out of those rooms because we didn't know anything about redirect. And that's just one of those things we need to learn. Yeah, it's a host of others that go with it. But that one was very strong for me in this one. So I don't know if that answered the question, Minister Yo. I hope it did answer that question. Just hit me in the chat somewhere. Let me know if that was good. I don't know if anybody else has anything else. I see you guys coming in hot. Yeah, these comments are hilarious. I love the smiley faces. Oh my goodness. God can handle it better than we can. Absolutely, Minister Vallow. You better know it. So I like to put these things up. Sometimes everybody can kind of see why I'm over here snickering. I think you guys can see some of the chat too. Yeah, yeah. I love this one here. Yeah, the bananas. I think that was it. Yeah, there it is. Minister Deborah. Okay. Minister Yo said yes, absolutely did. Okay, that's what we want to hear. I want to find Sister Range. Yeah, because she summed that up so great, guys. Look, this is the answer. 6-second pause. What do I want out of this situation? And what do I want for me? That's it. And this was the question by Minister Yo. She says was indeed answered. Yeah, no guilt. No guilt. That's come from a higher source, higher than us, higher than them. And the fact that it doesn't include them is actually a blessing on both sides. That means we get to continue on our journey, and that means they get to not waste time on a journey that doesn't belong to them. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, yeah, somebody's hitting wow. So, yeah, you guys did some good stuff over there. I'm looking, it's pretty cool. Mirror ministry. Don't forget it. All right, guys, this has been our power tables. I hope you have enjoyed your lunch. Well, I have enjoyed the tea. Yeah. This has been our moment, Power Tables with Dr. Sheri, that is CEO and owner of Next Steps Innovations Incorporated, home of my Best Life Academy. And this is the place, Power Tables, where we gather at the table. You bring the lunch, we bring the tea, and we have real talk in real time. It's been a great pleasure for me. Looking forward to see you guys really soon. Next week is coming. Lots on the horizon. Go to drsherryleads.com. That's the home of my Best Life Academy. Check out our Black Friday now and hit somebody else. We got a free gift for you over there, by the way. Go in and get that free gift. We'll see you guys soon. Have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Take care.